Hello and welcome back into the WK channel. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for Weather Now Kentucky. We do have an update for you this afternoon. I know a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about the developments for this afternoon and evening. We're going to go through all that data right now. Just know that at this moment there is only one, I believe, yes, one severe warning in Kentucky. So nothing actually crazy at this given moment. But things are beginning to unfold in different ways, and we'll break all that down here for you. Before we dive into the information, if you wouldn't mind, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen there. Share this video on your news feed so that way your friends and family can view it as well. And so that way everyone is informed and up to date on what to expect. A few changes have been made, and we'll kind of pinpoint those for you. Of course, make sure to say hello as you come in so I can give you guys a proper greeting. Thank you so much for trusting WK on a day like today, where we've already had over 20 tornado warnings throughout the state so far on the first wave. So even if there isn't a second wave, it's already been a pretty significant day for Kentucky, but we do expect that there will be additional waves throughout the afternoon and evening. Like I said, we'll break those down for you. If you're just not tuning in, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WK. We're doing an afternoon update on today's severe weather threat. Actually, the new SPC risk should be coming out here very soon, so we'll dive into that as soon as it rolls out as well for you. Joyanne, Kim, Joan, thank you guys for tuning in. How many actual tornadoes? Well, that won't be determined until after the system is completed, but I can tell you that we've already seen evidence of at least 3 different tornadoes so far today. Looks like there may have been one in western Hardin County and eastern Meade County. And it looks like there may have been at least 2 more out in eastern Kentucky, likely more from this morning's round. So, again, a lot of those confirmations won't come until surveys are complete on some things. Let me go ahead and say hello to some of these folks on Facebook. Mary, thank you for the, or Marie, thank you for the 20 stars. I appreciate that. Kristen with 50 stars as well. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for all the shares that I see going up and all the hearts that are going on Facebook. Thank you for all the thumbs up on YouTube as well. Marina, hello. Kim, hello. Izzy, hello. Gail, hello. Stephanie, how are you doing? All right. I'm not gonna drag this out too long here. Let's just go ahead and dive on into the information here. So, the National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center's update should be coming out relatively soon. This is from this morning. Nothing's changed so far. Again, their update should be coming out any moment. On the current radar here, we have some convective showers going on here, and that's limiting some of the abilities for this southern cell. So this southern cell is actually quite strong. However, there's so much rain wrapped around it that it's having a hard time actually really getting going. These cells out here that are jumping in front from the Richmond area and then back over toward that, nothing really too crazy to look at here. A couple of small hail signatures, but so far they have remained under severe limits, and we do expect that to stay that way as they're running away from the main bulk of energy. Where is the main bulk of energy? Well, I'll show you. And then I'll show you on the model data as well. The main bulk of energy is actually right here, and that will continue to push east throughout the afternoon and evening. And as it does push east and lift, that's where we'll see some more storm ignition. In fact, if I click on the western radar here, you'll see some of that line is already developing all the way out into Missouri and Illinois. And for our friends in Indiana, which I know we have a lot of folks watching on the border right there, you're looking at more of an elevated thunderstorm risk there, which means that you're looking at more of a hail threat. Tornado threat is still primarily the main target or the main mode for Kentucky. So let's go ahead and dive into some other things here. As of right now, and again, we expect several changes to this over the afternoon and evening. Southern Kentucky is still under that tornado watch because, again, the better energy is situated right there. But as we head throughout the afternoon and evening, we expect that to lift and continue to grow into Kentucky. And we'll show you those breakdowns tose So those are your current radar and watch areas. If we go back and look at the dew points here, so this is a big thing that we're watching today. And the reason for that is dew points are great at measuring how much moisture is in each layer of the atmosphere, or at the surface, I mean, and then you can go ahead and look up beyond that. But if you look across the map here, you'll see mid to upper 60s for western and central Kentucky, low 60s to upper 50s out here for eastern Kentucky. Why is that important? Once again, moisture is one of the #1 ingredients needed for severe weather. That has to be over 60 degrees on the dew point. It just has to. Now, you can get some borderline severe events between 55 and 60, but usually you want that to be over 60. Now, we do expect that eastern Kentucky will rebound to the mid-60s as well. Obviously, you just had those storms roll through about an hour ago, hour and a half ago, and you still have some storms ongoing out there, which has kind of impacted the ability for the moisture to really grow so far. However, what we've noticed is that even despite that first round, plenty of moisture is still available throughout all of Kentucky, so we're still having quite a high level of concern. Let's go back over here. I want to show you this real quickly before we go into the actual model data. This is going to look absolutely wild to a lot of folks. I understand that. Let me just break this down for you real quick. This is the surface-based Cape energy map. Basically, this shows us where the best pool of energy is for storms in way of instability. So, again, for severe weather, you need a few things to go right if a severe cell is going to mature and realize its own strength. You need instability. You need something to force that storm to go, which is we kind of determine as a forcing mechanism. And then when you need lift to occur, and you need moisture as well, and of course you need the correct temperatures, but that's obviously a given. So this kind of tells us that right now the best energy is still situated in south central and southwestern Kentucky. Again, we expect this to grow. If I were to put this into motion here and fast forward a couple of hours, you can see how that really expands throughout not only Kentucky, but Ohio and Indiana. Now I have doubts on whether that'll reach that far north in Indiana and Ohio, just because, again, the morning showers, while they didn't take down all the energy, they certainly limited how far north it can travel. So what that does is it concentrates the energy a little bit more and makes it a little bit stronger into Kentucky, and which is why we still feel like confidence is still extremely high on a very, very significant event unfolding in a couple of hours. So those are a couple of your check marks there. Let me go ahead and show you the skies as well. Let me make sure you can see this correctly. Show you the skies across Kentucky. You'll notice that behind that line that we saw right here in Bowling Green area in south central Kentucky, there's actually still some sunshine poking through, which is allowing for that environment to be completely unstable, and that will continue to grow east as well. Everything will grow east in a domino effect. So everything that we're seeing in west Kentucky will eventually move east through central and eastern Kentucky throughout the next few hours. So it's good to look back out there at Western Kentucky to see perhaps what you're looking at down the road. Let's go ahead and check and see if they've updated their outlook here. Looks like they have. Yes, they have. And they've expanded the moderate risk. So the level 4 out of 5 risk from the Storm Prediction Center has actually expanded further into Kentucky. Now includes almost all of central and eastern Kentucky. A level 4 out of 5 risk. An extremely rare event is unfolding in Kentucky, according to the Storm Prediction Center. Tornado outlook here: a 15 to 29% risk of tornadic activity from basically the I-65 corridor and points east, and a rare hatch area of a 10% probability or greater of a significant tornado, which is at least EF2 in central and eastern Kentucky for this afternoon as well. There is also a severe wind risk, which pretty much covers a great majority of Kentucky. And there's also a severe hail risk that includes a majority of Kentucky. So you can see all hazards are truly available for Kentucky this afternoon as storms unfold and push over from the cold front. Yes, you heard that right. It's a cold front that might actually bring some snowflakes on Thursday morning. That's how absolutely ridiculously dynamic this event is. So let's go ahead and look at model data here real quickly, and then we'll get into some of your questions. So model data shows us that this event is still true to what we saw last night on model data and this morning. So this is valid for 12 p.m. Eastern time. You can see it pretty much read that pretty clearly on the south central cell. As we push that forward, that turns into a big gusty shower, and then it's out toward eastern Kentucky. But then as that exits and we get a couple of hours of clearing, at around 4 p.m. Eastern time, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, supercells develop in front of the actual cold front. The actual cold front itself is actually this line of storms from Bloomington to Paducah. So anything just in front of that is extremely concerning because, one, you're jumping in front of the cold front. Two, right in front of the front is the actual best level of energy that you can have, right? And then three, they're not having to share their energy with an entire line, right? They're by themselves, right? So supercells jumping in front of a main line is actually extremely critical to watch. And the best bullseye for that at the moment is absolutely between Bowling Green and Elizabethtown to points towards Somerset and Lexington. That little square corridor is absolutely the best corridor. Now, they can reach all the way up to the Ohio River in Louisville as well. However, I'm expecting Louisville to maintain more of an elevated storm risk, which means more of a hail and wind risk, less tornadic risk for that area. However, that is still a significant severe threat when you're considering how much energy is available. So we push this on forward here. So that was 3 to 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. That actual cold front gets to moving through. Now, if Louisville and points to the north here toward northern Kentucky do see a tornado risk, it would be from this line right here, whereas the southern side would be more of a squall line, kind of like what we saw in the Lexington and Harrodsburg and eastern Kentucky areas earlier today, where several pockets of wind will actually pick up through there. If you didn't see the video post on our Facebook page, go check it out. Those winds actually reached up to 70 to 80 mile per hour in sheets and knocked a completely grown college student over on the ground. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing with today. So we've already had a significant round one, and an even greater significant round two is looking to unfold. Now, on round two, we expect that threat to completely drop off by the time it passes the Lexington and Somerset area. So if you're in Pikeville, Harlan, places out there in far eastern Kentucky, I'm not expecting a whole lot from that actual cold front. However, for your area, you're still looking at the risk of supercells in the early or the late afternoon hours going to the early evening hours. So overall, generally, all of Kentucky is still at risk for some really significant weather. Nothing much has changed. In fact, if anything, it's only increased in confidence. And western Kentucky still, in my opinion, still kind of left out of things just because you're gapped out there. But after about that Paducah-Murray line, when things really start to kick off, and then the rest of Kentucky, you're absolutely at play. So once again, this is the brand new SPC outlook here, and it does include all of Kentucky and at least a level 3 out of 5 risk, or except for with the exception of far Paducah and those places out there for far western Kentucky. And a level 4 out of 5 risk does exist for a great majority of Kentucky on the central and eastern side. I do believe that this is the first moderate risk to cover this much Kentucky since at least 2012. I'll have to verify that data. But however, you can tell that this is a once-in-a-while event that is unfolding. And I'm not going to sit there and say that lightly, but I just want to make sure everyone is prepared on all fronts here. All hazards are on the table, as well as mainly tornadic activity being the primary mode. I'm going to get to some of your questions now, but before I do that, I actually want to post these out onto the pages just to make sure that anyone that could make the video also got the information that you all got as well. So just 1 second, I'm going to post this out real quickly. And then we'll get a lot of your questions here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in so far as well. And of course, we'll be live throughout the coverage. We'll be live with coverage throughout the storm system as well for you guys. Okay. Like 30 more seconds, guys. And then I'll be ready for y'all. Just posting this update real quickly, and then I'll get to a lot of your questions, okay? I want to real quickly thank all of our sponsors as well. I know we haven't run any ads today. We don't ever run any ads on alert days. But I just want to real quickly thank all of our sponsors for this video, as well as all of our broadcasts, Right Implement, Romp Festival. What else we got here? Greyhawk Roofing. By the way, if you have any roofing damages today, they actually have, I believe that he said, over 20 teams ready to mobilize for emergencies. They do emergency tarping for free within their zone. If you don't know if you're in their zone, just give them a phone call. You can look them up at Greyhawk Roofing on Google, and you'll be able to find their phone information there. Let them know WK sent you. They'll take care of that emergency tarping for free in hopes that you just kind of continue your relationship with them. So just make sure you reach out to them if you need any type of assistance with your roofing today. Right Implement, Box Drop, Barstown Digital Solutions. Thank you to everyone giving us the ability to be here with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into a lot of your questions now. Melinda, thank you for the 50 stars. I appreciate that. Angela, thank you for your 200 stars. I appreciate you. Marie, thank you for your 200 stars as well. Everyone, thank you for all of your kindness and shares and all the likes that we've seen today as well. All the new subscribers and followers. Our page is hitting records, unfortunately, today. I say that unfortunately because it's not what this is about, but I just want to say thank you for all of your support. Charles, you're in a level 4 out of 5 risk. I would expect all hazards. Kayla, I think the biggest time frame is definitely 3 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. Haley, not every single person in that red zone is going to see a tornado. That's just the best area for tornadic activity to exist. Laura, I absolutely think the best time frame is about 2 to 7 p.m. for Elizabethtown. The time frame really hasn't changed, guys. 2 to 7 p.m. for much of Kentucky, Eastern time, that is probably a good bet. Tamara, thank you for the update there. Julian, I think you're in the 4 out of 5 risk. You're at play for all modes of severe weather. Someone said, how would the overcast play in? Honestly, it's not really affecting anything very much at all. Samantha, yes. If anything, it's only increased in confidence. Josh, thank you for the 400 stars, my friend. Says you're the man. Thank you very much for that. Jennifer with the 99 stars as well. Ratcliffe time frame, 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Pretty much everyone's time frame, by the way, guys, is going to be 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Fairdale's in that 4 out of 5 risk as well. Boston's in the 4 out of 5 risk as well. So is Danville. So is Lawrenceburg. Megan, I appreciate that. Time frame for southeastern Kentucky, you'll be a little bit later tonight. If you're like far southeastern, you're probably talking about 3 to 8 p.m., 4 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, and also you're in a 3 out of 5 risk. Dakota, all modes of severe weather are possible because the future radar is unreliable at the moment. That's why Lexington is still in the risk. Timing about E-Town is 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Louisville, 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time as well. Both are in the 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather, which is all hazards expected. Yeah, Megan, I wish I could have shared that sentiment. Of course, Lauren, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. I'm going to be happy when this is over. Me too. I'm going to sleep probably a record amount tomorrow. So if you don't see any posts from the WK page from tomorrow, don't worry. I'm probably just sleeping. It's raining me cutting out. Confident. Thank you for the update there. Seville timing. It's 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time is the correct time frame for what is showing on your screen right now. Yes, I think Ronnieville is at play for all modes of severe weather. Courtney, thank you for your 20 stars. She says, thank you, George. Thank you, Justine. Thank you for your 99 stars as well. Travel after work. It just depends on what time you're leaving, but I think 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time is the most vulnerable time frame. Timing for Bowling Green is also 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. McCreary, Bowling Green, and Brownsville, all 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, all 4 out of 5 risk. I'm rolling through these questions today. I need to drink more sweet tea often. Sarah, thank you for tuning in. What about Williamsburg? Looking at a 3 out of 5 risk, and also I think you're a little bit too far south of the main stuff there, so all hazards are expected, but not as robust as the 4 out of 5 risk area. Jenna, you, me both. Yes, Laramie. Danville's in a 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather between 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, which means all modes of severe weather are a hazard. Thank you to all the new followers. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everyone that's helping to support our page today. And we hope that we're keeping you proud by being here for you guys throughout the entire event. But radar isn't showing much more. Yeah, because future radar on your weather apps are a complete joke. I would not rely on those in the absolute slightest. Cassidy, we'll have to await storm surveys done by the National Weather Service to confirm any tornadoes, but I can tell you from a lot of the pictures that I've seen, especially out of eastern Kentucky earlier this morning, there were definitely at least 3 tornadoes today. Now, again, those have not been NWS confirmed, but they won't confirm those until the next day anyway. So we're really not going to know until tomorrow how many confirmations there are, but I can tell you based off the radar signatures that I saw this morning, versus a lot of the pictures and videos that I've seen, at least 3, if not more, have already occurred. Moorhead area and West Liberty is also in that 4 out of 5 risk. All modes of severe weather are once again a risk for that area. Lisa, thank you for that report there, and I appreciate that comment. Angela, thank you for your 50 stars. I appreciate that. Fountain Run, Kentucky, also out of 4 out of 5 risk. 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time is your time frame there as well. Where were those tornadoes? Jess, more importantly, or more toward like the Moorhead, Harrodsburg area, just south of Lexington. And then I think there may have been one more in central Kentucky near the western Hardin County border toward Meade and Breckenridge counties. There could have easily been one out there as well. About what time for Moorhead, Sandy Hook? We're looking at about 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. Muhlenberg County, you're quite a bit west, a 3 out of 5 risk. Or you have a little bit of a smaller risk there. 1 to 6 p.m. Eastern time is your time frame there. Yes, more will be coming to Greenup County. Shelby County is in a 4 out of 5 risk. All modes of severe weather are expected between 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern time as a hazard. Now, again, guys, just because we say all modes of severe weather, just because we say you're in a 4 out of 5 risk, does not guarantee you're going to see it. It just means your environment supports it. Now, we can't make a storm actually pop up, but it just means your environment supports it. Echo, welcome back in. How's the storm direction toward Grayson County? It's currently non-severe, I believe. Let me check again for you. Yeah, everything's non-severe so far in Kentucky. So anything that anyone's hearing right now, well, of course, as I say that, it literally pops up a warning right there. Edmonton, between Edmonton and Glasgow, just south of Glasgow, a severe warning is there, mainly for 60-mile-per-hour winds, if I had to assume, and that is the case. But nothing absolutely crazy out there right now. Big Spice on YouTube, I would just stay home. I wouldn't try to drive in these winds, guys. Somerset, in the 4 out of 5 risk as well. Someone asked about Nashville. We don't really cover Nashville, but I can tell you that the SPC has you in a 3 out of 5 risk. All right, where are we at? 22 minutes. Okay, we're going to stop this video right here because I don't want to be on here too long because I want to save time. Well, I want to save kind of some energy for the actual event itself. This has been our afternoon update for the significant severe weather that we expect today. If I didn't answer your question, the odds are I probably answered them somewhere else in the video. So in a few moments, this video will process and it will be available on the page for you to view once again at your own leisure. We're also going to try to make a written post for you guys, so that way you can actually have something to read as well. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in here. If you haven't already, follow or subscribe to our pages, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Make sure you turn notifications on by either ringing the bell on YouTube or turning on notifications at the top of the page on Facebook. Turn on all notifications there, so that way you get alerts for when we go live or post about the inclement weather upcoming. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WNK. Until next time, stay safe, Kentucky.